Hey guys, thanks for joining us. This is Epic. It is 2nd edition Epic Space Marine. Why? It's because, well, I love 2nd edition Epic. I just love it. I think it's probably my all-time favorite game of that period during the late 80s and early 90s. And I don't know why I stopped playing it, to be honest. So I'm really glad to have picked it up again and found a good mate here in Japan to play with me. So he's taking 4,000 points of Eldar, I'm taking 4,000 points of squats. And before we played, we decided on a battlefield. And that battlefield is set on Barbarius Prime. Now this is a battle report that was featured in the White Dwarf article, and it's featured in the Space Marine Battle Book. So in this battle report it features Eldar versus Imperial Guard, but obviously we're swapping out the Imperial Guard for squats. So the objectives are predetermined in where they are placed, and we try to keep it as accurate as possible with the terrain that we had available on the day. And I think my opponent did really well because he was the host, and the table looked fantastic and represented it really well, I think. So let's have a look at the army cards. So this is for the Eldar. A couple of Titans, Phantom Titan there as well. Warlock Titan. The avatars are free, of course. It's got some super heavy tanks. This time he took a Wind Rider host, making his army very fast and very maneuverable on the battlefield. I think they can move 35 centimeters from memory, so they can charge at 70, which is got a lot of long reach there. Some Tempests, some Aspect Warriors, which is good to see, and some Wave Serpents, which are new as well. I hadn't seen those before. For the squats, just taking my staple Colossus, Land Train. This time I took something new, which was the Ironbreaker Squadron, which featured the Leviathan. It can carry up to 30 stands, so we could take that entire squadron as a transport, so that was really handy. It's very slow, it only moves 10 centimeters like all the other big vehicles in the squad army, but with a 1+ saving throw, and it's got 4 void shields, it can get me to certain objectives quite safely. I took the bike squadron as well because I just never leave home without those. I need a lot more speed and maneuverability with my squats, which they provide. Here's an overlook of the table. Again, I think it's pretty accurately representing the battle report in the layout. So that square building there is the Governor's Palace, and the Governor's Palace is a reinforced building, so it has a 2+ saving throw. The other buildings we said that they were just concrete, so that's a 4+ saving throw. Okay, so this is just an overview of the deployment. We did have a screen set across the middle of the table, so we couldn't see where each player deployed their troops, which is an aspect of the game that I really enjoy. So there's my trikes. We've got some rhinos with the thunderers in there. There's the Leviathan with my Ironbreaker Squadron, the Colossus and the bikers on the flank. You can see the objectives there too as well on top of the buildings, all marked on parts of the terrain. The red ones being the Eldars and the blue ones being mine, I believe. And there are 8 objectives on the table. Here's the Eldar deployment. He's making use of a lot of those rooftops there with all the infantry that he's got as well, which is good. His warlocks on top of that building there as well. He's got a lot of those skimmers that make a lot of pop-up attacks, so you know, no surprises there. They're sort of behind buildings waiting to make their attacks. And we're ready to put down our order counters. So this is our order counters. I'm just going to give a quick overview. I don't think I did this for every turn, but just for the first turn, I thought it'd be nice just to see what kind of orders we had for each of our units and detachments across the board. So bikes obviously charging. I think his jet bikes are doing the same. I think they're advancing actually. Yeah, everything's mostly on first fire and advance. If you've never seen Epic before, you've never played it, they use these order counters which are face down initially, and you sort of reveal them to say what each unit and each detachment are doing. So it makes it quite cool, that sort of not knowing what things are going to do, even though some things might be fairly obvious, but some things might not be. Another quick overview of the battlefield before we start our first turn. The Eldar won the initiative, so they get to they nominated to move first. And I think you'll see most of the jet bikes come down on that flank on the left-hand side there, which is a surprise. I thought they were actually going to go for the Governor's Palace actually initially, but they didn't. And most of his other force just moving forward. So here my trikes moved up on advance orders because I wanted to shoot those guys up in the building there, some aspect warriors there. His wave serpents moved forward there, and my thunderers took position at that objective. My Leviathan moved forward, my Colossus moved forward a bit. The bikers charged in against the jet bikes. And the Titans move forward a bit. So it's just a bit of an objective grab in the first turn, of course. And in that resulting first turn of shooting in the first fire phase, he completely took out all my trikes, which was a shame. Maybe I should have deployed them better, or maybe I should have just put them behind cover initially. I don't know. I don't know what I could have done better there. But the wave serpents got completely mauled by my bikers, because the front part is impenetrable, but they can ride around and attack them and assault them. So they did that and totally wiped them out. The wave serpents were carrying all the striking scorpions, so they all died in the melee as well. And the other bikers on the other side had a good fight against the jet bikes, and I think they destroyed almost all of them except a couple of them, I think, survived that hand-to-hand combat. Shooting generally wasn't all that overly effective, mainly because he doesn't have a lot of infantry, and also I think my dice rolling wasn't all that fantastic in the first couple of turns at least anyway. And the governor's building was not taken at all, which was a big surprise. But I've got my Leviathan lumbering forward there 10 centimeters each turn, trying to get there. And yeah, his Titans worried me because I don't know how I didn't have that much on that flank to take them out with. And here's a quick look at our victory points for the first turn. Okay, so this is just a bit of a roundup of the hand-to-hand combat that ensued there, because the bikes took out most of the jet bikes, only leaving 2 stands there. And in this hand-to-hand combat, yeah, all the wave serpents died, thanks to the charging actions of those bikes there. So that helped me out a lot actually, because they would have been a real handful to take care of all those striking scorpions. So for turn 2, the Eldar won the initiative again, and we placed our orders and revealed the orders. Nothing much had changed on my side. I had a lot of stuff on first fire because I'm using a lot of barrage weapons in my army, and my land train and other vehicles move only 10 centimeters, and the airship only moves 20 centimeters. So I think I made a mistake on putting them on the flank, actually, and not in the center, because they didn't really do much in the game at all, as it unfolded anyway. So, and with his high maneuverability, it was difficult for me to sort of catch up with his movements, and with his stuff being mostly skimmers, he could sort of just jump out of hand-to-hand combat and just move from place to place. Okay, so just a very quick recap of our movement for the second turn. So you can see the land train moved up a little bit. The airship actually moved back on the hill, because I can see these Titans moving towards the center here. One of his Titans engaged my bikes, and the other bikes engaged this building here, and I charged them with my HQ unit, my Grand Warlord. And just an important too, that some Eldar bikes had come to the Governor's Palace, so I charged them with my bikes and engaged them in hand-to-hand combat. So I probably have missed a few bits and pieces here in the videoing of each segment, so apologies for that. So we might have skipped a couple of things, but in the first firing segment I managed to kill off some Vipers that had engaged my Tarantulas in their movement, so that was quite good, so they didn't actually get to engage in hand-to-hand combat. The Eldar player's Warlock managed to warp lock or mind lock one of my bikers, so it was unable to do anything that turn, so it couldn't fight in hand-to-hand combat. And I tried to shoot one of his Tempests, but every single time it made its armor save roll, so it was just one of those things where I just shot everything at it, trying to kill another one to get the victory points for that Tempest group, but he just made every single saving throw. His Doomweavers are quite effective in destroying that Thunderer detachment. And on the hill, he took out some more of my my battery of Thud guns and mole mortars as well. So just a quick recap of our close combats. The biker that was mind locked was defeated in hand combat because it could not fight, and the other biker defeated the other jet bike in close combat. The Titan just smashed apart those bikes, those 3 bikes that was in hand-to-hand combat with. And over here, the Warlord and 2 Hearthguard stands. One of the Hearthguard actually was taken down by one of the jet bikes, surprisingly, but the other 2 cleaned up the other 2 jet bikes that were in hand-to-hand combat with them, so good for them. So one shot's gone through, it's hit the head, and I'm going to roll the damage table now, so Damien, take it away. 1.
The Titan's Wraithbone circuits have been damaged. Until damage is repaired, the Titan's close assault factor is halved. Yeah. And it may only move or fire if you first roll a 4+ on a 1d6. No. Head damage is repaired by rolling a 4+ on d6 in the end phase.
Okay, well it's not the result I wanted, but that's okay, no problem. Thank you. So as you just saw, we just had a roll on the hit location for one of the Titans that had managed to penetrate and get through in the advanced firing phase. It actually hit his head, but the result of 1 meant that, you know, as you saw, didn't do that much damage to it anyway, so that was unlucky for me. He claimed that the governor's palace, because in the advanced firing phase he destroyed the other bike that had there as well. I think apart from that, there wasn't that many other highlights to the advanced firing phase, wrapping up turn 2 of the game. So I think we'll just head over into turn 3. Now, in this part of the turn, I didn't actually film any of the movement, and I don't think I filmed any of the first fire segments. So I'm sorry. So basically, the Leviathan moved up, and all the troops inside it of the Ironbreaker squadron, they just charged into the building, and one detachment of those Berserker squats are now charging towards that other objective in the center of the table. I've got two Titans breathing down my neck, which isn't good, but as you'll see in a minute, I did get some lucky hits with the Colossus on with his battle cannon, I think it is, against one of the Titans. So that resulted in getting through some of his hollow fields and getting some successful hits on them. So in the next video, we'll find out what happened.
You're shooting at the Warlock, aren't you?
Yeah,
well,
this
the Warlock.
Warlock,
Yeah. So I wasn't
okay, so the Colossus opened fire his battle cannon at the Warlock Titan. 2 shots managed to get through. 1 missed on the hit location, and 1 hit the reactor. So Damien's about to roll for the reactor. Here we go. 6. That doesn't look good.
It's been destroyed.
Yo!
The Titan is vaporized in a spectacular meltdown. Remove it from play. Anyone within 3d6 suffers an automatic kick and must make an unmodified save to survive.
Okay. Alright, so that's Downsy's
3d6.
Warlock Titan. See how far we go. Okay, so that's 9, 10, 12.
12 centimeters.
I don't think. Oh, I was going to hit my
Yeah,
rhino.
it's gonna hit your rhino.
No, not good actually. Yeah.
Oops. 12 centimeters. Hits this stand in the building.
Hits that one. Yeah.
Hits the rhino, hits the building. Okay, this is vaporized.
Yep. All right. So
Okay,
yeah,
that
we'll
gives
see what
you-
happens to the other guys, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so from there, the Warlock managed to mind lock my Leviathan, so that it stopped it from doing anything. Can't move, can't shoot, can't do anything at all. But I think I did it, or he did it. I can't remember who did it, but one of the buildings went down with some of his troop stands in it, I believe, is what happened there. So that was quite fun to see. I think his Doomweavers, or whatever they are, that are throwing these templates down and dispersing a lot of my troops, they're actually quite effective, because I had a lot of infantry out at that stage, so it gave them a lot of targets to shoot at. Okay, so in the hand-to-hand combat phase, the Titan actually was actually positioned on top of the hill, and because he's now going after my battery on top of the hill to try to claim some more victory points, which he successfully killed quite a few of those in that last hand-to-hand combat. Okay, so at this point there wasn't much filming done because it was getting very late at night and, well, late in the day I should say. You know, kids needed to be fed and people wanted to go home. I got a long trip back to my place, back to where I live. So we just quickly, and we didn't have that many figures on the table anyway at that stage. Epic Space Marine's quite a bloody game and things die really quickly, especially if you're infantry. You won't last very long, so that's why I always say don't get too attached to your units and models on the board, because they're going to quickly die if you're not too careful. So basically I think I needed only 2 more victory points to get to 45, which is the total that I need to win this game, based on the amount of points we selected, which is 4,000. So I just managed to hold on and keep hold of that central objective with my last remaining squat berserker. The Eldar player managed to destroy that battery on top of the hill there and claim the victory points for that, but it just wasn't enough, and the squats did it in the end. So Yahoo to the squats. First ever victory for them, for me. This is my second time playing them. In reflections, you know, they are pretty slow compared to Eldar. Their land trains and the Leviathan and the Colossus can only move a maximum of 10. So maybe in hindsight I should have put all of them in the center and just sort of just rolled them straight through and just thought, well, you know, if they die, they die. If they just get totally swamped by missile fire, so be it. But they've got void shields to, you know, protect them. Because of that land train, you know, I had the berserker battle car with it, so it had 5 berserkers in it. It had the flame template, and you know, I've got, you know, and then that air had like 18. I think it's got like 18 attack dice in like 15 centimeter range, plus the bombs that it can throw down as well to troops underneath it. So I think in hindsight, you know, if I'm going to play that battle again or play squats again in the future, I think I might utilize those units and place them straight in the guts of the table, and try to reach the highest concentration of infantry or troops that he has to try to take those down just with a mass of bolter fire and flame templates and the barrage templates and that kind of thing. So and I'm thinking about switching out that battery of barrage weapons that I have, that company of those that I usually take. I'm thinking I might next time I might swap those out for another, either Ironbreaker unit or something else, maybe another biker guild, because I quite like using the bikes. But then again, who knows? I might play orcs next time, because I'm sort of slowly building and painting a new orc army. And I think my mate Damien's got an Iron Hand Space Marine army that he's painting as well. So we'll see how we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry it's not the best battle report out there, but it's something anyway. So, and we'll see you again for the next one. Take care. Bye.